get ready to turn up the heat with Infernape. So we are looking at the second of the firefighting starters that we've gotten over the years, with the first one originally being Blaziken and then the one after it being Emboar. Infernape is going to be fun to look at. As far as our stats go, we have 76 HP, 104 in both our physical and special attack, 71 in our physical and special defense, and 108 speed. Infernape likes to keep things nice and simple as far as the stats go, and with 104 in both of its offensive stats and 71 in both of its defenses, you could easily make a case for running this thing as either physical, special, or mixed. You could easily slap a hasty or naive nature onto Infernape, lower one of those two defense stats to increase your speed, and then you can run a mixed set of physical and special attacks. Now, I personally like the idea of running physical on Infernape or special. I don't like the idea of going mixed and then dividing the EVs. I like to go one way or the other with this thing. As far as our type breakdown goes, firefighting has a 4 times resistance to bug, and then it has a few regular resistances to dark, fire, grass, ice, and steel, while being weak to water, ground, flying, and psychic. As far as our abilities go, we have both Blaze and Iron Fist. Blaze, when you get down to about a third of your max HP, your fire type attacks get a 50% boost, and then Iron Fist gives your punching based moves a 20% boost, with the exception of Sucker Punch. It doesn't count Sucker Punch for some reason, but hey, that's alright. Infernape has a lot of punching moves at its disposal that we can definitely take advantage of. They also brought out a fun little item called the Punching Glove this generation, which basically means we get a 10% boost to the punching based moves of the holder, and those punching moves do not make contact. Infernape is super glassy, so the nice thing here is we don't have to worry about going for a move into a rough skin user or an iron barbs user, looking at you, Ferrothorn, if you ever come back, and then taking a little bit of recoil damage. Because here's the thing too, Infernape has been around since the days of Diamond and Pearl. Most people know what it's doing, especially since the remakes came out as well. People have this thing fresh in their minds, so they know Focus Sash is a fun item to run on Infernape, which means they want to see a little bit of recoil into that Infernape to break Focus Sashes, meaning they'll get a little bit braver with trying to do that. Let's catch them off guard with that Punching Glove. So let's take a look into our first set idea, and we're going to combine Iron Fist and Punching Glove together to give our punching base moves a little extra oomph. So what I'm thinking here is we're going to keep the EVs nice and simple. Max investment into attack and speed. We're going to go Jolly Nature to really crank out that speed. And then we have Fire Punch and Mach Punch as our two primary punching damaging moves. So Mach Punch, priority move right here. Base 40 power, you apply the Punching Glove and the Iron Fist together, which they do stack. You're looking at 52 base power before stab. That's not a lot, but if you apply stab and get an extra 50% boost, or you go Terra Fighting and double it, well, you're capping out at 104, roughly. That's fun on a priority move. That's almost as scary as a non-stab Brave Bird coming off priority, or, it's a little bit on par with Grassy Glide now that the Grassy Glide's received its nerf. So there's that. Then we have a Fire Punch here too. Fire Punch starts off as base 75 power. By the time you apply both the Punching Glove and the Iron Fist ability, you're looking at roughly 98. You naturally have Stab with this being a fire type attack, so you're already going up right there. You apply Terra Fire on here, you're looking at roughly 196 after the base power. That's nice because you're not getting any drawback from, like, say, Flare Blitz, which has recoil, or Raging Fury, which is basically fire type outrage, so it confuses the user after 2 turns. I really like the option for the Fire Punch right there. You could also run Thunder Punch on Infernape if you wanted to deal with those pesky flying types as well, so you could definitely do that, and you could make a case for Terra Electric to give yourself stab on it as well. But what I was thinking here for the third damaging move is Knockoff, actually. And Knockoff is going to be handy because it's 65 base power that's automatically getting a 50% boost when it removes an item from the target, so that can be relatively handy, especially since Dark type is super effective against Psychic, so doesn't hurt you to knock away some items while doing a little extra damage. Definitely hurts your opponent by all means. So that is definitely a thing right there. Like I said, though, you could make a case for running Thunder Punch. Infernape also gets Poison Jab and Rock Slide, which are just great coverage options for this thing. So you definitely have those at your disposal for sure. So let's talk about our second idea here. And this is going to be a Blaze, Focus Sash, Nasty Plot idea. We're going to want a little bit of redirection support on Infernape here, but we can definitely do that. We could use something like, say, Clefairy, which does have Friend Guard, so your partner Pokemon are taking only 75% of the damage, so that could be a little bit handy if you're looking to survive a spread attack. You could also go for Follow Me with Clefairy right there, and then that way you're hopefully surviving with Infernape. You go for a Nasty Plant, you hit +2 into your special attack, you have Heat Wave for some spread fire type stab right there, 95 power, that's coming off a +2, 104 special attack. Nice. On top of that, if you wanted to put on, like, say, Torkoal or Ninetales to set the sun, or Prankster, Sunny Dazer like Sableye, you could definitely make a case for that. I'm pretty sure Tornadus gets both acrobatic, or not acrobatics, Tailwind and Sunny Day. Let's just take a quick look at that right here. Do you get Sunny Day? You do. And you get Tailwind. So you could definitely make a case for running Tornadus with Infernape as well, especially, like, say, maybe Clefairy goes down, or, you know, Clefairy goes down enough. You go for Protect on Infernape turn 2, let Clefairy go down, or sub Clefairy out, like hard switch right into Tornadus. Tornadus has that Prankster. It goes for either the Tailwind or the Sunny Day, and now Infernape is really set up. On top of that, Infernape did get a nice little boost as far as TM options go. It didn't get a huge buff compared to, like, say, Empoleon, who got both Roost and a brand new ability in competitive, or Torterra, who got Shell Smash, but Infernape did get Vacuum Wave. Vacuum Wave is a special fighting type priority move. Not many special priority moves out there. That can be handy right there. On top of that, as far as other special attacks go, you could make the case for Aura Sphere, which is another buff that I almost said boof. Aura Sphere here is another buff that Infernape got with the Teal Mask right here. So now you have a base 80 power stab move that can't miss, that's also getting boosted by Nasty Plant. That could be fun. Just think about that. The potential right there is wild. But let's take a look at some other special moves right here for Infernape. You get Flamethrower, but you're already running the Heat Wave. You do get Grass Knot. Grass Knot is great coverage on this thing because water types and ground types do not appreciate having a grass move thrown at them from a fire type. And a lot of ground types tend to be heavier, so Grass Knot will do a lot more damage to them as well. So there's that. As far as another option goes, if you wanted to, you could go Terra Blast, pick a different Terra type, and then have that as an option. And on top of that, if you don't want to go Terra, well, at least it's still a special normal type attack before you Terastallize, so you're still increasing Terra Blast's power, and normal coverage isn't the worst thing out there. I mean, the only two things that outright resist it are Steel and Rock, with Ghost being immune to it, so a lot of things are taking neutral damage from a non-Terra changed Terra Blast, and because it's only once you Terastallize that it changes to a physical attack, if you do have the higher attack stat, you don't have to worry about that on a special attacker. So there's that. On top of that, if you want to really choose violence, you could go for Solar Beam on a Sunny Day set, but probably not the best option there. But anyways, case in point, you can definitely have some fun here with Infernape, that's for sure. So main idea, just to recap. Redirection support plus Nasty Plot. You get to +2. Bring in some speed control. Have fun. Let's talk about our next set. Our next set here is going to be a Choice Band non-Iron Fist set. And what I was thinking here is, now we're just going to go for extreme damage. Now, you can also make a case for both the Choice Specs and the Choice Scarf as well here. So we're going to talk about the Choice Band, and then we're going to go from there for a little bit. So what I was thinking here is, this time it's okay to run the Flare Blitz. So We're going to run Flare Blitz. It's base 120 power right there. We have Close Combat, another base 120. We have Rock Slide, which is nice spread damage right there. It also has decent flinch odds, 75 base power. That can be handy for dealing with flying types. And then our fourth move is Switcheroo. So Switcheroo basically removes your item and trades it with the target. So if you run into, like, say, something that's pesky and annoying like Amoongus, who likes to be able to click Spore or Rage Powder or even Protect, you can lock him into only using one move with that choice band by going for the Switcheroo. That is definitely an option that you could go for. You could also make a case for running either Knockoff or Thunder Punch or Mach Punch. You could definitely make the case for Mach Punch. And honestly, if you do run a punching move, like say Thunder Punch or Mach Punch, I would even recommend that you do switch Blaze out for Iron Fist. The only reason why Blaze is here right now is because I didn't have a punching move there. And as far as utility goes for getting the hidden ability, unless you already have one and then you're just going to be breeding it, it could be a pain to grind out the ability patch depending on what your raid capabilities are. So that's more or less just a convenience right there for the Blaze. But you could definitely make the case for the Iron Fist. Now, a good partner here for this Choice Bandit Infernape here would actually be Roaring Moon, because you could use the booster energy to increase your speed. On top of that, you have Tailwind, so then Roaring Moon can just instantly set up for Infernape with the Tailwind. And on top of that, if you wanted to, you could also go into the Acrobatics play with Roaring Moon and then just go Terra Flying and do that. And plus, Roaring Moon also got a nice little buff itself because it now has access to Knockoff too. So there's that. And on the flip side, if you're a little bit weary of non-terrestrialized Roaring Moon, well, the Sphinx defense stat is not the greatest. You could make a huge dent in this thing with a Mach Punch off Infernape. So it could be your best friend or your worst enemy. Just keep that in mind. So anyways, hello, Noel. Yeah, hello. You jumping up? I'm lifting you. Oh, you're fine. Oh. She wanted to say hi. So, where were we? Right. Case for either Choice Scarf or Choice Specs. So, here's the thing. Infernape here can easily run the Choice Scarf over the Choice Band. And we're going to look at that first because, you know, speed is a lot easier to... I don't want to change the moves quite yet. So, what I was originally thinking with the Choice Bandit set was Jolly, max attack, max speed. Now, on a Choice Specs, just remove the attack IV, or the attack EVs, switch it with special attack. So, for the Choice Scarf right here, that's giving us a 50% boost. We're already sitting at 176 on a Jolly Nature, and... Oh, trip on the trackpad? It is. Okay, so... we're sitting at 176 on the speed with a max invested Jolly Nature. So if we take that 176 and apply a 50% boost from the Choice Scarf, we're now sitting at 264. That can be relatively handy, and plus that could really give you an edge on the Switcheroo change, because now you're really going fast. And if you take like an Amoongus and give them a Choice Scarf, well, you basically just ruin that Amoongus, because now if you play Trick Room, well, now that Amoongus is going a lot slower in the turn order than it would like to. You can pick it off that way. If you're playing outside of Trick Room, well, now you don't have to worry about that Amoongus necessarily being able to switch its moves. And this thing, that thing only has like base 30-something speed. So you don't have to worry about it outspeeding you, even if you give it that speed boosting item. So that could be handy. On top of that, you could get the jump on a lot of things with the close combat or Flare Blitz with the Choice Scarf, especially if you go Terra Fighting or Terra Fire, and you're just going in for a quick, instant knockout, not caring if Infernape lives or faints the following turn. You could do that too. Now, if you wanted to and run the Choice Specs, we can just take out the attack EVs, switch our special attack, switch this from Jolly to Timid, and then go from there. So we're sitting at 156 into our special attack. We could take Flare Blitz out. Maybe for some fire coverage, we run Heat Wave instead of Close Combat, Aura Sphere, because the fact that this thing can't miss is really, really nice. On top of this, what we could do, we could go for the Vacuum Wave, and then that way we have some priority. Switcheroo can stay there if we wanted to, or we could put Terra Blast. So this is what you could potentially do for a Specs set. So you're getting a 50% boost to your special attack right here. You have Heat Wave, so you got some spread options. You have an Aura Sphere that can't miss, and then you have priority in Vacuum Wave. That could be really nice for getting rid of Qin Pao or just picking off anything that is weakened. So there's definitely that for an option. And like I mentioned too, the Roaring Moon would still be good setup here because you still get the Tailwind. So Infernape is got that 176. If you double that right quick with the Tailwind calculation right here, you're sitting at 352. Unless things are getting into specific speed tiers with like boosts, there's not much that's going to be outspeeding you at that point. Unless your opponent has Tailwind or they're going for attacks that increase their speed, you're going to be pretty fast, which I'm confident in saying that you're going to be able to outspeed them. So anyways, guys, that's my main thoughts on Infernape. We're going to talk about Torterra and Empoleon at some point, but for now, let me know what you think about the OG Fire Ape, which might be the only Fire Ape, but hey, let me know what you think of it down in the comments below.